Namaste, Swagatam. In today's edition of Brihat Mridanga Utsava, a series of conversations with Dr. Srinivasa Jammalamadaka garu, we celebrate the Hindu Nava-varṣa in the form of Ugadi, or more popularly known as Ugadi. This is a festival that is celebrated in different forms and names in several states across the country. Guḍhī Pāḍavā in Maharashtra, Navratri in Kashmir or Cheti Chand in Sindh, and of course as Ugadi in the Telugu states, as also in Karnataka. For Hindus, the beginning of spring or Chaitra Padyami is the new year. Our objective today is to explore the several relevant areas concerning this festival. Let us learn more from Srinivasa garu. About Srinivasa garu, Dr. Srinivasa Jammalamadaka garu studied Nyaya or Tarkashastra under Sri A. Radheshyama Shastri garu, Advaita Vedanta under Sri R. Mani Dravida Shastri garu, and Vyakarana under Sri Kanti Dattatreya Murthy garu. He has completed the Tenali exams in Tarkashastra and has also taken the Tenali exams for Advaita Vedanta. He holds an MPhil and PhD in Nyaya Shastra. Earlier, he served as assistant professor and director of the School of Śāstric Learning, Kavikula Guru Kalidas Sanskrit University, Ramtek. He is the co-founder of Sri Kameshwari Foundation and is presently working as scholar IKS courses in Siddhanta Knowledge Foundation. He has been conferred with awards such as Tarkaratnam and Vidwanmani by Sri Kanchi Shankaracharya ji and Shastra Kalanidhi by the Madhya Pradesh State Governor. Namaste Andi Srinivasa garu, Swagatam once again. So for Ugadi, we have a lot of questions for you, Andi. It's coming around the corner. What is the concept of the Hindu lunar calendar, first of all, Andi? Please elaborate also on the 60 different years that we have.
Yeah. So, as concept, time is one entity. One singular entity which doesn't has any starting point or ending point according to the Shāstras. So, in the Nyaya Shastra, it is defined as Atitadi Vyavahara Hetu Kala. So, whatever the conversations or kind of communication we are doing based on time something. So that is Kala, because of which we are able to do these kind of conversations or any communication. That is, so in every element, you have a separate element called time, space and time. Two things are ever relevant for us in our day-to-day life. So actually, it is called as Mahakala in the sense. So it is like, it is similar to space. It is similar to space. It is similar to direction. So as a concept, space is one entity. Even direction is also as a concept is an entity. But we, for our convenience, we create a separate parts of them for our convenience. So in the similar way, as we have directions 8 or 10, and even the space can also be different from place to place, based on place. In the same way, time is also again has it can be divided, or it has smaller divisions to it, subparts to it. So how do you calculate it? Because as a concept, it is it is very hard for us. So we need some other. As we have to, if we have to bifurcate space, you need a space that is Akasha. You need some object. So based on that only, you can actually differentiate it. In the same way, so what is the common thing that is ever relevant? So that is the action of Surya and Chandra. Sun and moon. So our concept of Kala is based on what is called a Surya Parispanda Kriya. So, so we have a celestial chakra which is 360 degrees, in which we have nakshatras, and certain parts are called as rashis, divided into rashis. So we have 12 rashis, and 7 grahas which are visible, and 2 chaya grahas. So Rahu and Ketu are not considered to be physical grahas, but they are called as chaya grahas, and we have 7 visible grahas. which keep on rotating in the celestial portion, orbit. So when actually it is based on the Jupiter's rotation also. So Jupiter takes 1 year to rotate from Mesha Rashi to the Meena Rashi. So it will take around 361 days or something will be taken. And similarly, so it is all based on the the travel of all these 7 grahas, which can be mapped out. So when so this is also called as samvatsara. So year is also called as samvatsara. Samvasanti asmin niti samvatsara is the etymological meaning. That means in which 6 seasons reside is called as samvatsara. So when 6 seasons complete a cycle, then that is called as a samvatsara. And we have a Chandramana and Sauramana kind of calendars. So mana is essentially the meaning, the word mana means calculation or measurement. So Chandramana means a measurement depending upon Chandra, and Sauramana means measurement depending upon the Surya or Sun. So in this way, we have 12 masas, 12 lunar. So we have again different kind of traditions, whether it is Amanta or Purnimanta, and we have separate constituents of this time calculation. So each, and that is why pañcāṅga comes in. So all these aspects are there, which are a bit technical in nature, but we will try to explore them when the Panchanga Shravana concepts come. What is the Panchanga and etc. There we will explore them. And for now, it is moreover relevant to the. It is based on the rotation of the grahas. So we don't come. So our calculation is based on the Surya, Chandra, and other grahas. The calculation is based. So that is why it is not as January 1st to be a new year. So ours is a very technical and śāstric way of calculation. When the 12 months, it will take 12 months for the Jupiter to take the whole rotation, the orbit. So that is also one of the means to calculate an year.
So for a lunar calendar, which we follow, Chandramana, we also consider some aspects of the Surya's travel, some aspects of other grahas. So it's not solely only Chandra. So we are considering other movements also, right? And so there are 60 different years that in Pedda Balasicha I had studied. So
yes. So this is another interesting aspect. So how do we cannot keep on going, keeping on naming them differently, because it is coming from eons of time. So how do we do that? So our ancestors came up with this very wonderful way of method. So that is, so each and every graha, the speed in which they actually travel differs. Okay, so the slowest graha is called Shani or Saturn. And then comes Guru Graha, Jupiter, then Mangala, then Ravi, then Shukra, then Buddha, and the fastest one is Chandra. So this is the order based on the speed of the grahas. So they took the 2 grahas which are slowest. So Shani takes 2.5 years to travel from one Rashi to the another Rashi.
Okay.
And Guru Graha takes 1 month or 1 year, one year to complete the whole travel, and that means it will take around 1 year to travel from one Rashi to another. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So it will take.
Rashi is 30 degrees. In 360 degrees, each Rashi is 30 degrees. So from
33,
one Rashi, 33 points. Yeah. So to traverse that 33 point something degrees, Jupiter takes 1 year.
1 year, and Shani takes 2.5 years.
From Rashi to Rashi.
Yeah, Rashi to Rashi. So that is why when we call Sade Sat, so it is 7.5 years. So when the Rashi based on your Janma Rashi. If yours is if your Janma Rashi is to be Mesha, then your Sade Sat starts when Shani is in Meena. So in the previous, and your Rashi until it crosses Vrishabha Rashi.
Next Rashi.
So it is 7.5 years. So this is Sade Sati. This is what we say.
Okay.
So in that way, if we see, Jupiter will take 12 years to complete one orbit, and Shani will take 60 years to complete one orbit.
60.
Okay.
Yeah.
60.
Yeah.
So the LCM, the lowest, multiple of between 12 and 60 is 60. So they came up with this 60 based on this calculation, based on the movement of the both grahas. So for every 60 years, the latitude and longitude of Jupiter and Saturn will be the same.
That is why Shashti Purti they celebrate for the individual.
And all that happens. So whatever other grahas speed is different, but they cannot be mapped in such a way. Okay. But these both grahas speed is very much perfect. So it is easy for us to track it.
Correct.
So for every 60 years, the placement of Shani and Guru Graha will be the same. So it is one cycle. So in this way, the 60-year concept has been developed.
And each year has a name. I think a lot of us study that, but nowadays outside we don't learn that. A lot of children don't know the names, right? So there are names. Yes,
unfortunately. Yeah.
What is the name?
Even I'm also it.
Yes.
Coming year, it is Krodhinama Samvatsara.
Is it to do with Krodha in any way? In a way?
Yes, it is said that Krodha Asya Astiti Krodhi is what they say. So
the year is full of anger.
Yeah, full of anger, and there a common prediction that in Krodhinama Samvatsara, lot of outrageous things may happen in the larger context.
We have to do some Shanti mantras and Shanti japas and pujas, all that.
Obviously, I mean, if everyone does their Nitya Naimittika Karmanusthana, itself is Shanti.
Yes. Thank you. So, I wanted to ask you, considering we talked about all this, I can understand why Ugadi is auspicious, but is there any specific reason you can explain to us why we celebrate it, for the public and not January 1st as New Year, and why Ugadi or this period of time as a New Year? Why is this auspicious?
Yes. So, in order to know that, we need to know how did we actually calculate or try to understand the concept of a day. What is one day according to us? So how do we do it? So as we said, it is based on, so the most logical and reasonable thing will be in calculating would be based on the movement of moon or sun. But moon is more considered to be for the tithis, auspicious for the tithis. So if you see on every Amavasya, fortnight, I suppose it is what said, right? So for every, if not new moon day, sorry. New moon day. So what happens is, Surya and Chandra, they stay in the same Rashi. Darisha Suryendu Sangamaha is what Amara Kosha also. Darisha means Amavasya. Suryendu Sangamaha. So that is when Amavasya is the point. When Surya and Chandra are in the same place. And from Amavasya, from the next day, Chandra keeps on moving 13 degrees away from Surya. So this 13 degrees or the variation of the 12 degrees that is between the Surya and the Chandra is called as Tithi. So, and that movement is not static, it is dynamic. So the average speed would be 23 hours, 37 minutes or something.
Okay.
The greatest speed could be 26 hours, 6 minutes. And the least would be, the fastest would be 21 hours, 34 minutes. So it varies.
Every day it's changing. That's why it's so quick.
Every day. That is why we have Tithidvayas and all these things, right? So based on this Tithi is for us, maybe we can consider it to be one day. So if you see, a fortnight happens for every 15 days. So this is about the 360 degrees of the celestial body. So it will take 1 month for Chandra to again come back. So every time, even Surya will also be moving, Chandra will also be moving. So whenever they come to one place, it is 1 month. So in the Amanta Paddhati tradition, so the month ends on the Amavasya. So that is the ending point. So the starting point will be the next Pratipad of which follows the Amavasya. So this is how 12 a month is again calculated. So when 12 months are completed, so we have for every month we have another thing called as Sankramana. So the famous Sankramana is Makara Sankramana. We all celebrate Sankranti then. So every month when the sun comes into the new Rashi, that is called as Sankramana. So when 12 Sankramanas complete, so that is also another year. So in this way we have different ways of calculating it. So in the Amavasya to be the last day of the month, if you calculate, then the 12 months will be completed by the before the Chaitra Masa. That is again on the Falguna Masa. So
is there any reason why it is Chaitra? Is it just because it's spring, or any reason why we start with Chaitra?
No, yeah. So why Chaitra, Vaishakha, Jyeshtha, and etc. So Chitra is the nakshatra. So on the day of Purnima, which nakshatra is there, the Masa is called as that. So in the Chandramana, why it is Chaitra Masa? It is because on Chaitra Purnima you have Chitra Nakshatra, and hence it is called as Chaitra. Okay. On Vaishakha Purnima you have Vishakha Nakshatra, and it is called Vaishakha Masa. Okay. So that is why in the Tamil traditions they have Masas based on the Rashi names, because they follow the Purnimanta tradition. Correct. So we have two traditions here. Yes.
So now it is known as different names all over the country. This either New Year you call it, or Spring Festival, Ugadi, Guḍhī Pāḍavā, Navratri, Bihu, Vishu, Baisakhi. What is the common link? Because there are so many different paddhatis. You just said Suryamana, Chandramana. And how does this unite the whole of Bharatavarsha as a festival?
So we have two major traditions, as I said, Amanta Paddhati and Purnimanta Paddhati. So if you have Purnimanta Paddhati, then after 15 days, that is on the Chaitra, after the Chaitra Purnima, according to the Chandramana calendar, then that is what Tamilians call as Puttandu, and they celebrate New Year then. So it is either that or this. And there are certain dharmaśāstras state that north of Vindhyas they follow Purnimanta Paddhati, south of Vindhyas normally they follow the Amanta Paddhati, and certain places also follow, like keeping in mind of Tamil Nadu, certain places follow Purnimanta Paddhati even in the south, but predominantly south of Vindhyas this Amanta Paddhati is followed.
And because everybody follows this, and around the same time they have these festivals, it is kind of a unifying New Year, unlike January 1st.
Yes. It is just the the regional nomenclature differs, but the whole aspect is the same.
The idea and the aspect is the same, yes. But there's also this ritual of hoisting a flag, Andy, which I've seen mostly in Maharashtra, Dhwajarohanam. What does it signify, and why don't we do it in Telugu states? Should we be doing it, and what is the significance?
Yeah, so here Dharmashastra gives us a very good guidance. So what are all the things that we have to do on Ugadi? So there are 7 things that we have to do. So the first one would be Abhyanga Snanam, Taila Abhyanga Snanam. So on every, maybe on major festivals, we have this Taila Abhyanga to be part and parcel of it.
Right, from the head onwards.
Yes. Okay. Yes, yeah. So, and then we have Dhwajarohanam on this day. And the third one is Nimba Patra Sevanam. And fourth one would be the Navaratri Arambha, the beginning of Navaratri, Vasanta Navaratris. Fifth one would be the Panchanga Shravanam, or Vatsaradi Phala Shravana, which we call it as. Sixth one is Prapadanam, and the 7th one is Dharma Ghatadanam. So these are the 7 things that we have to do according to the Dharmaśāstras. So here comes Dhwajarohanam. So Dhwaja is essentially a flag. It is not only flag. So there are 2 types of Dhwajas, Sapataka and Apataka.
Sapataka, Apataka.
Nishpataka or else Nishpataka.
Nishpataka.
So a pole with a flag or a pole without a flag, both can be called as dhwajas, and they represent something. So what is dhvajati uchrito bhavati iti dhvajaha. So uchritaha means what? It is like you are celebrating, you want to make some
declaration, statement, yes.
So it is a reflection of joy, confidence, all these positive things. So that is why, as a symbol, if the country is mourning, you have half mask, half mask in the flag, and etc. You have. Yes. So dhwaja is a symbol for our civilization. For each and every civilization, dhwaja is the symbol for it, and keeping it up high is one way of stating our confidence, that we are with confidence. Our civilization is thriving with confidence. So this is the concept of dhwaja, and there are different kinds of dhwajas and etc. are there. But here, and even dhwaja is even at times taken as the part of a devata also. I mean, you take it as a devata himself. So that is why each and every, and your reflection of your personality, if you go through Mahabharata, each and everyone had their own dhwajas. Even though they belong to the Kaurava or the Pandava clan, both the enemies, but each and every Bhishma has his own dhwaja, Arjuna has his own, Bhima has his own. So each and everyone has their own dhwaja. So it is the reflection of their personality or their belief or their Ishta Devata. So it's different kinds. So normally we have a Kashaya dhwaja, which is very much prevalent all the over, or maybe Hanumat dhwaja or Nandi dhwaja.
Okay.
So Nandi represents dharma. So if you want to represent dharma or Shiva, then Nandi comes in. So it's a different this thing. So
Ishta Devata according to one's interest.
Yeah, so there is nothing specific about what a dhwaja should be there in this particular day. But there are different kinds of dhwajas in the Mahabharata and all we find. But that is nowhere. That is just an extrapolation from here.
Okay. Thank you. So you would suggest that people, I mean, because it's there in the Dharma-shastra, we can also put up a dhwaja, and it is somewhat recommended actually to do so.
Yeah, as you know, what I understand while going through exploring all the festivals is, some parts are prevalent in some regions. So this Guḍhī Pāḍavā, so the Guḍhī means dhwaja. So somehow that region retained that part of the part in the festival. We retained, most in the south have retained the Nimba Sevanam.
Which is what I'm coming to. Yes. We are Telugu, so we love our pachadis. So I wanted to ask you about that. Nimba Sevanam, where we prepare the Ugadi pachadi with neem, either flowers or leaves, mango, jaggery, tamarind, salt, chili peppers. What is the significance and why do we consume it, Andy?
Yeah. So Nimba Sevanam is according to the dharmaśāstra, first thing, and it has a relation with Ayurveda also. So Nimba is essentially is for its bitterness.
Nimba is neem, right? People might think it's Nimbu, but Nimba is neem. Yeah.
Neem. Yeah. So what happens is, in the Vasanta Ritu, when the Vasanta Ritu starts, normally what happens is all the water content comes out because of the seasonal change. So until then, in the winter season, kapha would be accumulated and all that kapha would be coming out. So this is called as vamanam. So there is one charya in Ayurveda where which is called as vasanta vamanam, vasantika vamanam or vasanta vamanam. So they have a different what you call a particular chikitsa paddhati in which you vomit. Intentionally you vomit. You take some
cleansing the body.
It's cleansing. It's mostly like the jaladhauti kind of thing in the yogic practice. So you take out all the kapha that is there, which actually naturally comes out, even though you want to do it in a very faster way to clean your body. So once you do the vomiting, then what happens is the pitta and vata and pitta aggravates. So in order to maintain the equilibrium or evade the negativities of the vata and pitta, you have to take something which is bitter or kashaya.
That is
so. Beautifully in Meghadutam, this thing was actually depicted in a very what you call poetical way.
The Pachadi is there in Meghadutam?
No, not the Pachadi. This Nimba Patra Sevana. I mean, you have to have something which is bitter or kashaya. Okay. In the 20th shloka, so the shloka goes like this. तस्यास्तिक्तैर् वनगजमदैर् वासितं वान्तवृष्टिः जम्बूकुञ्ज प्रतिहतरयं तोयमादाय गच्छेः अन्तःसारं घनतुलयितुं नानिलशक्ष्यति त्वां रिक्तः सर्वो भवति हि लघुः पूर्णता गौरवाय. So this is a shlesha here. So where it is said that until then he's in a place called what you call in the somewhere near the Reva. I mean near Ujjain. So tasyaha tiktaihi vanagadamajaihi vasitam vantavrushtihi. So vantavrushtihi. So vanta means vomiting.
Yes.
So through your raining, you vomit yourself all, and then take some of the. You take the water of Reva Nadi. Tasyaha toyam adaya gacche. You take the water of Reva Nadi and go ahead. So how is that water? It is Jambu Kunja Pratihatarayam and Tiktaihi Vanagadamajaihi Vasitam. So Vanagaja Mada. So the Mada or the the whatever the outcome of Mada of a Vanagaja is Tikta taste and sour. And Jambu means this black jackfruit, Neredukai. So how so the water is mixed with these both tastes. So this is essentially what it comes into bitter, mixing of both sour and this thing. So then take those some part of this water and then go ahead. Then anilaha sekshati tvam kim tulayitum. So anilaha means vayu, that is vata, cannot cause any trouble for you.
Okay.
So in the commentary, Mallinatha gives Vagbhata in Ayurveda Grantha says kashayascha ahimastasya vishuddho shleshmano hitaha. So he says that this has the shlesha over there. So after doing the vomiting, you have to take something which is bitter in taste.
It is very interesting. Poetry has Ayurveda also, so everything is very interdisciplinary in our śāstras, that it's a beautiful poetic work, but he had the knowledge that this had to be done. So he's included that. So thank you.
Nimba Patra Sevana is essentially that.
Wonderful.
So it helps us to maintain the tridoshas. Vata Pitta Kaphas.
Wonderful, Andy. And I love your recitation. It's so beautiful. I could hear. So maybe we should do more of Meghadutam at some point, because when you are chanting it, it is sounding so beautiful. Coming to the Panchanga Shravanam, what is the role of Panchanga Shravanam during this time? And I have seen it very unique to maybe the Telugu states. I have not heard it in other areas. Is it common in other areas? Jyotisha Shastram also is very particular during this time, Andy. So people consult their astrologers and all that. So why is it so? Is it because it's a new year starting?
Yeah. So this is normally called as Vatsaradi Phalashravanam in Dharmaśāstra.
Okay.
So this is one thing that we have to do on Ugadi. So normally we have something called as a calendar is called as Panchangam. So which has 5 constituents. pañcāṅga. Yasmin sattat Panchanga. So that is Tithi, Vara, Nakshatra, Yoga and Karana. So these 5 things are called as Panchanga. So each and every day you have these 5 constituents. Tithi we covered. Okay. And Vara means the day. Again we have 7 days. So this is based on the concept of Hora. So we have 24 Horas in a day. That means 24 hours. Again, these are why it is Sunday or Bhanuvasara, why it is Induvasara. So they have a wonderful way of doing it. So as we have come across the slowest to the fastest grahas. So that is a list: Shani, Guru, Mangala, Ravi, Shukra, Buddha, and Chandra. So you have to just keep this order 24 times. 24 hours. I mean until 24. That means 3 times 21. 3 times it is done, and the 4th time then it will come 3. That is Shani, Guru, and Mangala. So there 1 day is done. Then again other calculation starts with Ravi. So this has started with Shani. This calculation of first day started with Shani, and hence he is the Dinadhipati. At the time of sunrise, which graha is there, from that graha will be the Adhipati of that particular day. So Shani, then comes Ravi. So in this way we have 7 days. So this is the based on the Hora, the calculation of days. So day is also one part of it. And then we have Nakshatra, that is celestial bodies. 27 nakshatras are there. Again, wherein each and every day moon will rotate, will stay in one nakshatra each and every day. So again there also average time is 24 hours 17 minutes. Greatest time is 26 hours 32 minutes, and the least would be 22 hours 22 minutes. So that is why Tithi calculation is different from nakshatra calculation. At times you may have one Tithi but 2 nakshatras, or one nakshatra and two Tithis. So that is purely dependent upon the speed of moon.
Okay.
So this is nakshatra. And then we have something called as Karanam. Karanam is a very technical word. Karanam essentially means the half part of a Tithi. So every day minimum we have 2 Karanas. So Ardha Tithi is Karanam. And there is something called as a Yogam. Yogam is essentially the yoga is the what you call the addition. The addition time. Degree, right? There is 13 degrees difference between the Surya and Chandra. From Surya to Chandra, it is 13 degrees. But 12 degrees is one Tithi, and that one degree in which Surya and Chandra's yoga addition is called as Yogam. So in this way, we have 5 constituents of Panchanga. And coming to the Vatsaradi, this thing, what happens is we have something called as a Graha Chakra, Gati Chakra. The grahas keep on rotating. So keeping in mind of 1 year's rotation of all the grahas, in which month which graha will be there in which place, based on that a general prediction is given. So as in every financial year you have predictions of your outcomes based on some symptoms, we go by some symptoms. In the same way, these are essential because they predict the amount of rains that we may have. Even though we may have good rains, they even predict the outcome of the fasal or the agricultural outcome, and etc. So
maybe floods or drought or something like that. So all the attendant issues also
will be predicted.
Yes,
there can be some whether there are acute natural calamities or not, and some great people can even predict in which place people may get affected a lot.
Like a road
what all could be the it is more about, are we going to have mental issues, mental trauma or physical trauma? Are we going to be deprived of food or not? So it is moreover like a general prediction of how the society can be in the next.
So we can prepare ourselves for it. So if we know that, then we can prepare ourselves for it. Okay, Andy, thank you.
And even each and every Rashi is also having a prediction based on this.
So
because based on the Graha Sanchara can be calculated in advance.
Yes.
So based on your Rashi, again the calculations, permutations and combinations may vary, and they may give a generalized this thing.
Yes, because I've seen it in Hyderabad and Telugu states, it's very prevalent where in every temple also, they will talk about what is the next year looking like for the state, for the nation, for big personalities, and for individuals for different Rashis, which is very unique, I thought. I've not heard it in other states so much. A lot of Kavi Sammelanams and Avadhanams also happen during this time, Andy. Is it just because it's the new year, or again there is a significance for them to happen at this point of time?
It's just a festivity thing that we.
It's not a part of the dharmaśāstra. It's not. It is just along with the festivity. It is.
No.
Okay. So, starting with Ugadi, the Chaitra Navaratrulu also start, the Vasanta Navaratrulu. And how is this different from Sharada Navaratri? Of course, that happens during Dashera, and the months are different. But in terms of rituals, is there any significant difference?
Yeah, I mean, for Devi Aradhana, two Navaratris are auspicious. One is the Sharan Navaratri, and similarly, even it is the Vasanta Navaratri also. So, but certain people, I mean, mostly the Sharan Navaratri is very well, celebrated by everyone.
Yes.
But many dharmics do celebrate even Vasanta Navaratris. So, who are very intense sadhakas, they definitely do this Vasanta Navaratri, and it's similar to all the niyamas that you have in the Sharan Navaratri.
Okay.
They do the upavasas and etc. They have Navaratri Utsavas and etc.
Okay. And coming to my last question, Andy, the role of Jalaseva during this time, through distribution of water that we see, people have pots everywhere and outside petrol bunks, outside shops, you have all these ghatas. Also the significance of Prapadanam and Dharmagata Danam in Dharmaśāstra during this period. What do you...
So the two unique, So the two unique anushtanas that we see as part of Ugadi is Prapadanam and Dharmagata. So Prapa, the word Prapa means Piyate, Prakrishtena Piyate Asyamita Prapa. So where abundant of water is available or water is consumed is Prapa. So essentially a place where water is there available for drinking purposes. So whoever can actually have a big, pond or it's not only pond, it could even be big pots and etc. Who can maintain them for 4 months. This is essentially said to be done for 4 months, not just the day of Ugadi. Starting from the day of Ugadi, 4 months, this Prapa has to be maintained. So the shloka while establishing a Prapa is like Prapeyam sarva samanya bhutebhyaha pratipadita asyaha pradanat pitaraha trupyantu pitamaha.
May I repeat it, Andy? Can you just say it line by line?
Sure. Prapeyam sarva samanya bhutebhyaha pratipadita asyah pradanat pitaraha trupyantu pitamaha. So here it is for sarva samanya. So there is no discrimination based on gender, varna. It is bhutebhya pratipadita, not even for only humans,
all
for every living creature.
Yes.
And by this, what is the outcome of this is pitaras trupyantu. So what is it that we can do for our Pitrudevatas or ancestors is doing Jaladanam. So that is what we do on Amavasya or Mahalaya Paksha or anything. So how do we give them the food? For them the food is nothing but the water which we leave. So here, by giving this Prapa, by establishing this Prapa and maintaining this Prapa, our ancestors, it goes to the ancestors, whatever good is there. So in this way, this is one way of addressing the Pitru Rina, the pious obligation, one of the pious rinas that we have.
Yes.
So Pitru Rina, this is part of addressing the Pitru Rina.
Beautiful.
And as Prapa is a bigger establishment, it is not possible for each and everyone to do. So what else that we can do is something called as Dharmagata Danam. So Dharmagata Danam is again starting from Ugadi, 4 months, each and every day, you can give a small pot of water to someone.
Okay.
So small pot, any pot that which you can afford.
Fill water and give it.
Pour drinking water in it. Cover it with one cloth cover it with a cloth, and then give it to someone. So this dharma ghata is considered to be the form of the Trimurtis, Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwaras. So there the shloka comes, Esha dharma ghato dattaha Brahma, Vishnu, Shivatmakaha asya pradhanat sakala mama santu manoratha.
Is it okay if I repeat?
Yeah. Yes. Esha dharma ghataha.
Esha dharma ghataha. Dattaha.
Brahma, Vishnu, Shivatmakaha.
Brahma, Vishnu, Shivatmakaha.
Asya pradhanat. Sakalaha. Mama santu. Manoratha. So whatever your wishes are, they will get fulfilled by giving this dharmagata dhanam. And this is one very sensible karmanusthana that we see. So where it doesn't has only a very peripheral objective or approach to it. It is very sacred. It is very pious, and it has a lot of emotion with it. So you give it with a lot of humility, humbleness, and you do have something out of it. It is said that because obviously in the summer everyone is going to have a thirsty, and if you quench their thirst, definitely they are going to have some sort of tripti in their manas, which will definitely reward, definitely will give you something good. So this is very multi-layered anushtanas that we normally
great for the potters also. They have a good income coming in, because nowadays pottery, not everybody goes and buys pots except in summer, once in the summer time. So this is great, but throughout the year, and they can sustain for the rest of the year if you're doing this for every day for the 4 months. So till Varsha Kalam, you're supposed to do this, obviously, right? So from Ugadi to Varsha Kalam. So very wonderful, Andy. If there's anything else, please add. Otherwise, I think all my questions are answered. I'm sure the viewers also will benefit from these shlokas and mantras that you have taught us. And chala dhanyavadalu meeku. Andarikki Ugadi śubhākānkṣalu. Wish you all a very happy Ugadi. Thank you.
Andarikki kuda Ugadi śubhākānkṣalu. Wish you everyone a very happy Ugadi. Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste.